Hey everybody, we're here live from AWS Summit at Santa Clara. I'm Alejandra, one of the technical evangelists, and this is Roger. Roger, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Roger Barget. I'm a general manager at AWS, and I have the extreme good fortune to be leading the AWS Robotics team.
So, let's talk a little bit about robotics. Roger, why don't you tell us a little bit about how has Amazon been involved with robotics?
Our company applies a wide range of innovative technologies throughout our fulfillment centers, including robotics. Today we have over 100,000 robots being used throughout our fulfillment centers in 26 fulfillment centers around the world.
That's pretty cool. So why don't we also take a moment and talk a little bit about what is cloud robotics for folks that may not be familiar with that term?
Sure. It's really about augmenting or complementing the functionality, the software, the capability of a robot. No longer is a robot limited by the compute power or the software it has installed, and instead it can take advantage of cloud services. We think of a robot as anything that senses, computes, and then takes action. And so if you go through those and think about sensing, a robot now can actually use machine learning services such as Poly and Lex to listen to what people are saying, to respond back with voice, use a service like recognition to actually recognize what it's seeing in its video feed. In terms of computing, it could stream video to the cloud and use recognition to understand what it's seeing, do complex navigation. And so basically every aspect of a robot, from sensing, computing to acting, can be augmented with cloud services.
That's pretty cool. Thank you for that really good detailed explanation. So I'm kind of curious, what do you think are some of the problems that robotics can help solve today?
Yeah, so we talked to over hundreds of customers as we were building AWS RoboMaker, and what we found is that a lot of these developers struggled just to build their robotics application, and a lot of that is really undifferentiated heavy lifting, from getting a development environment set up, to being able to put machine learning into the robots, to be able to run simulation to test the robot to make sure it's working correctly, and then how to update the robot once it's in the field. And this is exactly the functionality that AWS RoboMaker provides our customers. It accelerates development and actually supports the end-to-end development process of a robotics application.
So you mentioned RoboMaker, and you got a little bit of a chance to talk a little bit about that. Do you want to tell us how customers are using RoboMaker, for example?
Yeah. So one of my customers is called Robot Care Systems. Their robot's called Leah. Leah is a walker robot for the elderly and the disabled. Leah doesn't have a lot of processing power on it and compute power on it. All of the sensors are being used to help make sure the patient is steady and the walker avoids all obstacles. They've been able to integrate Poly and Lex into Leah, so now their customers can talk to Leah, give voice commands to their walker on where to go. Leah can respond. They're integrating machine learning so they can do predictive models to forecast the patient's health, make Leah more stable, make Leah more smarter for them.
Cool, so it looks like we might be running out of time. We might have time for one last question. What do you think the future holds for robotics?
So we are at an inflection point. In the next 2 to 3 years, you can expect to see mobile robotics in logistics to go up by a factor of 10. And we believe the AWS Cloud is going to prove to be one of the most powerful tools developers have. We're working with those customers now, and we'll be adding new services and new features to enable them to do more with our service.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much, Roger, for your time.